But that's quite remarkable. I'm really impressed and very surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Throw your 78s away. They're shit. But this could well be one of the best value turntables you're going to buy. We're going to have a look at this turntable, we're going to set it up, and we're also going to compare it against a silly expensive turntable in the $10,000 range, and that's the Rega RP10. We're going to connect this to a phono, and we use the same phono for both turntables. That's a moving coil, this is going to be a moving magnet, but you'll get the idea. The idea is to see just how much better is this system, which essentially is a lot more expensive. Stick around. These styluses are all interchangeable with the cartridge, and I think that is what makes the Audio-Technica LP70X or XBT maybe the best value entry-level turntable in the market at any price. So this is the new LP70X. This is actually the BT variant, which means it has the ability to connect via Bluetooth. But it also comes with RCA cables, and so you can connect this to any hi-fi system or any active speaker. And that makes it very, very versatile. It's fully automatic, which makes it very easy to use. It sets up in absolute minutes. It's already preset. All you need to do is unpack it, add the tray, add the mat, attach the belt before you add the mat, and that's pretty much it. It's ready to roll once you remove all the ties that are holding it down. This replaces the LP60, which was an incredibly popular, very well built entry turntable. The price has gone up, but it's also giving you something which other turntables in this level just don't have. And one of the things is the ability to change the stylus. So this stylus here, which is the blue, is interchangeable with anything in the 95 series. Now, to be able to replace the stylus on a turntable like this normally would be a silly idea. But the reason why it's not stupid is because this actually has the ability to improve, and if you're going to attach it to an active speaker and then down the track you want to attach it to a hi-fi system, there is no reason why this won't be at home in a quality hi-fi system. A lot of people do buy turntables based on looks, and this is a very nice looking turntable. The original colors are black with either a brass or a silver trim. This one here is, bronze or a silver trim. This one here is the first of the white series, which I think looks really smart. It's a nice, elegant design. It's a very simple turntable to use. I'll give you some tips along the way, which will actually help you with any turntable. Let's just have a look at this turntable to begin with and how simple it actually is. So the setup takes minutes. It comes with a Perspex lid. So one of the things that you can do, and the very first thing that you should do, is when you're playing a record, don't play it with the lid. You'll notice that most lids are hinged, and they're hinged to be relatively easier to take off. And there's a reason for that. When you're playing a record, just remove the Perspex cover and dispose of that safely. That removes one element of vibration absorption material. Definitely never play with the lid up. A lot of people do, and it puts the record player out of balance. It also creates more vibrations, so avoid vibrations at all costs. While we're talking about vibrations, another thing that you can do for any turntable, and that applies to this turntable, is isolation feet. This has pretty good feet, but they're not adjustable. They are quite soft and spongy, and there's actually a little bit of give in those feet. So it's dampening vibrations from the bench going into the record. But if I was to put this on a stable table or put it on isolation feet, put it on some squash balls that I've cut in half, all of that is going to stop vibrations from getting through the turntable. All these little tips will help any turntable that you have. The more expensive the turntable, the better the isolation platform you can get. But with any turntable, if you isolate it from the structure best you can, even with some rubber matting, you will find that there'll be a huge improvement in the noise floor. Let's have a look at the front of this. It's 33s and 45s. I can't see any adjustability for 78s, and quite frankly, throw your 78s away. They're shit. So 33s and 45s, that's all you need. I've noticed on the back of here, you'll see that there is actually a slider which goes from 7-inch to 12-inch. Okay, so that slider is going to be the setting which allows you to automatically place the arm on either a 7 or a 12-inch record. It comes default on 12-inch, which is going to be the majority of records. The 7-inch is your little singles. There's a little lock for your tone arm, which is great. So make sure that if you are going to play this and you're going to press auto, take that lock off. Otherwise, this arm will just force itself up and won't do anything. It comes pre-aligned and it comes pre-weighted. You'll note there's no weight ring on the back of this tone arm. I actually thought when I saw the shape of it that it was meant to be a weight ring, but there actually isn't. And that's because it's weighted for the 95 series cartridges, and essentially all the 95 series stylus for the cartridge is the same weight. So the stylus is the same weight. So whatever stylus we put on this body is going to be fine. It's going to be the same weight, so the weight is going to be perfect. Let me just harp back about how important this is. The ability to be able to change the stylus on a turntable of this level is really unheard of. And it's revolutionary in the sense that you can buy something to begin that won't break the budget, and if you want to, you can still make some improvements. The problem we've had in the past with entry turntables is that essentially you buy it, you use it, you get over it, you can't improve it, you throw it away, you buy something better. This allows you to protect your investment for a much longer period of time. So you can buy a turntable that is easy to use, you can upgrade the stylus. I will be upgrading the styluses, and I'll do another video which shows you the differences between the 4 styluses. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you will get that information when it's available. The price range for this turntable is, and I've forgotten, Carmelina, how much is the price for the LP70BT and the LP70X? Is it $599 and $699 or $499 and $599?
I have to check it.
Would you mind checking for me, Carmelina, please? That's Carmelina, she's checking the price for me. Thank you, Carmelina.
Yes, $599 for the BT.
Yep. $499 for the X?
And $499.
Okay, so in Australia it's $599 for the BT variant, the Bluetooth variant, and it's $499 for the X. You can connect this to your Bluetooth headphones and you can listen to your vinyl away from the record player. And if you do have Bluetooth speakers, it makes a lot of sense, but most Bluetooth speakers will actually have the ability for an audio connection. And if that's the case, then just use the 3.5mm jack or the stereo connection or a 3.5mm adapter and connect it to your speakers if you can. The fact that it's got the cables, the fact that you've got a switch on the back, which I'll show you now, makes it very, very versatile. So this record player will actually connect to almost any speaker system, active or passive, that you might have. So while we're talking about connectivity and talking about some of the features, one of the things that you'll find on, I guess, the majority of Audio-Technica turntable is this little switch here. It says phono and line. So this has a built-in phono. You need a phono to boost the signal so that you can actually hear it through a sound system. Otherwise, the audio is incredibly quiet. We're picking up vibrations. There's a little switch here, phono and line. If I'm connecting it to a sound system that has a phono, that has a line input, no phono, I flick it to line, and that engages the phono, which boosts the signal so I can listen to it. If I have a system that has a phono, I put it on phono, and then it's disabling the phono internally and allowing me to use an external phono. And that's another really important feature. So this is another thing that you will find is an upgrade path to most record players. By changing the phonos and putting better phonos onto your turntable, you're essentially using better voltage or giving it better voltage. So you're going to increase the gain potentially, but you've also got phonos that you can dial in the details specifically to the cartridge. This is really about dialing in the system to be suitable for the turntable and the cartridge that you're using. The fact that you can do it with a $499 turntable, again, increases the lifespan of this product to be with you. It's well built, it won't fall apart, you can play it for an awful long time. Why not enjoy it and upgrade the quality as you want to increase the experience that you're getting from the turntable? So, other things on the back, 12-volt adapter which connects to your power plug. You've got the RCA output with an earth. Okay, so the cable that you get with it actually has RCA and it has an earth. Basic cable, but more than good enough for the task at hand. If you wanted to improve the cable, you definitely could. But I'd say that what it comes with is likely to do the job it needs to do very, very well. So I'm going to attach this to a phono when I'm testing it. So I will be using the RCA cable and I will be connecting the earth pin. You'll find that Because of the sensitivity and because of the boosting nature of a phono, you tend to get sometimes noise that you'll hear. It might be like a 50 hertz hum. If you hear that hum or you hear noise, then use the earth. And if the earth doesn't remove the noise or the hum, what you can do is just get yourself a better earth cable. And an earth cable essentially is just a copper cable. What we do, we have a lot of HDMI cables that we don't use anymore. A HDMI cable is multi-strand and each strand is actually insulated. I would strip those down, I would turn up the cables, I would use that as an earth cable because that really does drain all the noise out. So some of the best earthing cables that I've made have been old HDMI cables where I've just lopped off the ends and trimmed them down to use those. Okay, so there's two types of vibrations you're going to get. You're going to get micro vibrations from electronics, from amplifiers. You won't possibly notice it, but if you were ever really interested, just get a tuning fork and have a listen. You'd be surprised at the noise that's coming off your actual cabinetry. And you're also going to get vibrations from the air, from the drivers, from the speakers. The closer the speakers are to the turntable, the more vibrations it's going to get. Try not to put speakers on the same table as your turntable if you can. Don't put your turntable on an amplifier if you can. Doesn't mean you can't, but it's not a great idea. Again, because of vibrations. If you do, make sure you raise the turntable to allow ventilation for your amplifiers and also put something underneath that to stop those vibrations. Isolation feet, rubber mat, etc. A squash ball is a really good idea, by the way. They're very cheap. Get some squash balls, cut those squash balls in half, whack them under your turntable. Does a really good job. We used to do that when we were kids. And I'm still doing it today. I think the design language is very, very clever all the way around. All the accent buttons, all the silvers, the way it's made, the aluminum tray, everything is great. Good quality mat, and there's different types of mats that you can use. I'll go through accessories in another video. So you can change tracks easily with this. A lot of people think that you've got no choice of what track you want to play, but essentially you've still got that full control. If you want to stop it halfway, you can, and the tone arm lift will do it. When it's in fully auto mode, you don't need to use the lift. So just keep it down, hit the start button, it'll actually track itself across. It sits on the record groove quite nicely. When it hits the end, it'll go up and go back to home. Okay, so there's no forgetting, no wearing down your needle. Okay, so we've connected it to the phono. So what I'm doing here, there's actually a Cyrus phono. The reason I'm using this is it's got 4 internal phonos. I can select 1 to 4. I have the Rega P10 as a moving coil on input 4, and I'm going to put the Audio-Technica LP70 on input 1 so that I can have a bit of a listen to this turntable, $499 in a system worth a significant amount more. Okay, to give you a bit of a breakdown on what this system actually is that we're using. So the speakers that we've got connected at the moment are the EPOS speakers. I'll give you more information on those in other videos. We're using the Krell amplifier. This is a Duo 300 and the Illusion 2 preamplifier with a separate power supply. We are using the Cyrus signature phono, which has 4 phono inputs, which is why I'm using this. And the record player that we're going to be listening to this against, the RP10. The RP10 has an Alfetta 2 cartridge. So just as a side note, the cartridge on the RP10 is worth close to $2,000. The cartridge on the LP70 is possibly $59 or $65. Big difference. $10,000 turntable, $499 turntable. Try and always dust your records down with an anti-static brush or some sort of felt before you play records. Get as much dust off the record as possible and then play. Oh. Right. This is very interesting, and I've never done this test before. I've never put a $499 turntable in a system with a $10,000 turntable. No denying, overall, this is definitely a better overall experience, but the detail differences are not overly great, and if anything, I'm getting a bit more warmth out of the Audio-Technica LP70X, and that's really quite interesting. So more detail, more definition, no doubt about it. But this is quite nice and comfortable to listen to. Everything else is kind of where it needs to be. The image is really good. There's definitely dimension in the audio, so I don't feel like I'm listening to anything other than a record. There's no additional breadth or width in the sound. They're both doing a pretty good job. It's just that there is a bit more definition in the audio, and I can feel, you know, the highs are a little bit crisper and the lows are a little bit more defined and a little bit tighter, but the bulk of what I'm hearing here is incredibly pleasant. And this is, I guess, the thing to take away, is that if I was to change that stylus to one of the other styluses in their range, and they go up to, I think, $279, so that's just for this tip. That's equivalent to the stylus of a Audifon Blue, for example. That will actually bring out more detail, and I will do that test. I'm going to order in all the styluses, and I'm going to change the stylus on the LP70, and I'm going to see what difference those styluses make. And I'm not saying that this is now, you know, what you want to find if you want to buy a high-end audio system, but what this gives you is the building blocks for a turntable that is just going to last longer. That's a good thing, right? You know, you buy it because it's inexpensive, but it's going to last a while, and if you want to make it better, you can. But that's quite remarkable. I'm really impressed and very surprised. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, that it's a bloody good turntable, and I would have to say that it is the best value turntable that you can buy at the moment. For the features, for the operation, for the looks, the style, white is fantastic. It looks absolutely beautiful, and even the other colors look fantastic. I'll have images of those up on the video. Let me know what you think. Would you put a turntable like this in a system like this? I think it did a fantastic job. So let me know what you think. Give me your comments. Would you put this turntable in a system like this? I'm really curious to find out how the other styluses will improve the audio quality. I will do this test again. So hit the subscribe, hit the bell icon, give me a thumbs up, and let's have a bit more fun with the Audio-Technica LP70X/BT Bluetooth variant. Thank you very much for watching. It's been my pleasure to talk to you. Cheers. See you again soon.